Hello everyone, welcome back to another Epic Mickey video. So I wanted to continue on about the Epic Mickey 3 possibility and talk about just like the future of the franchise, because a lot of you guys mentioned in the last video that there was actually a bunch of you guys that wanted like the spin-offs. Some of you mentioned Epic Donald, that was like one of the biggest ones I've heard. Of course people want Epic Mickey 3, that's the one I kept hearing about. And I thought it would be fun to talk about like the spin-offs, and maybe if it's possible, if Purple Lamp Studios could make these spin-offs instead of an Epic Mickey 3, or what do you guys think? Do you guys want Epic Mickey 3, or do you guys want one of the other spin-offs? But yeah, before we get started, it would mean a lot if you guys could hit that subscribe button and that like button as well. It would really mean a lot, and let's get started. So one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about was Epic Donald. So Epic Donald was a spin-off that was supposed to happen, I believe, after Epic Mickey 1 or 2. I think it was supposed to be after Epic Mickey 1, but it never happened. So Epic Donald would have been based on the Carl Barks Donald Ducks comics, and it would have taken place in Duckburg. The characters in the game would have been Gladstone, Gander, Huey, Dewey, Louie, Scrooge McDuck, and even Mickey Mouse would have been in the game. And it seems like Mickey Mouse could have been like a playable character, or at least a side character, judging by the gameplay we've seen. And it's actually really cool, the gameplay. It's like something that they already have working. It's like a prototype. It's not done obviously because it was cancelled mid-development, but they were actually working on the game, so it did exist. I find it really interesting for them to do a spin-off on Donald, for example, because I feel like Donald never really had the spotlight, and he's always seen as like a joke type of character. And within the Epic Mickey universe, it would be cool to see like a darker tale on Donald, especially since we don't really have, I feel like he's not that much of a spotlight in general in the Mickey Mouse franchise. Like, he is a character, but I would always consider him like a side character, and I've never really seen like a dark take on the character, you know what I mean? So I feel like it would have been cool just to see Epic Donald and the other characters that would be associated with Donald, like Scrooge McDuck and like the 3 nephews of Scrooge McDucks. I think that would have been cool. Are they the nephews or something like that? I don't know. I personally felt like that would have been super neat to see, but of course it never ended up happening. But would you guys want to see an Epic Donald after the Epic Mickey Rebrush game? That is the question. The next one I'm going to mention is probably not going to be that big of a deal. Well, I think it still will be. Is Epic Disney Racers. So this was another spin-off game that didn't really make it quite into development. It only had like a bunch of concept arts. And it would have been like a racing game. It would have had your typical characters: Mickey, Minnie, Oswald, the Mad Doctor, Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Cruella de Vil. But yeah, there's really only concept art of this, and it obviously would have been like a Disney racing game, and I think it would have been cool, but I definitely think it wasn't really the target audience. For them to transition from like a 3D platformer to like a Disney racing game, I feel like would be kind of weird in my opinion. But then again, I think the game would have done well. It would have been, I don't think it would have been an issue, but I would assume that it would have been like 4-player co-op, and you just get to race against your friends. That's like the typical racing style back then, around 2010, so that's what I'm assuming that the game would be. But yeah, I think people would prefer like a storytelling more than a racing spin-off game, in my personal opinion. But what do you guys think? This wasn't one of the leaks games. It was something that I wanted to talk about because I knew people would be talking about it, and I wanted to know if you guys would want Epic Mickey Power Evolutions 2 or a remake of that game. Reason I mentioned this is because I forgot that it was a spin-off, and people mentioned that they enjoyed the Power Evolution game, and I was looking up some gameplay and it looks really interesting. Basically, the spin-off game is following like the older 2D Mickey games, and it was a 3DS exclusive. It came out on the same day as Epic Mickey 2, I believe, and I think the reason they did that was because, first of all, it was made by a totally different company. And I think Disney was just trying to market Epic Mickey and trying to make it like a big deal, like trying to get as much sales as they can. That's why I feel like what's going on with this game. I don't know how the development was. I don't know anything about the developers for Power Evolutions for the first game, but I'm assuming that they did their best and obviously put in the work. But I'm assuming that they were crunched with like a time limit, and this was a 3DS exclusive as well. So I heard people saying that they liked this game actually and wouldn't mind a sequel of this game or a remake. And the issue is, I know you can translate the 3DS to like a PC or the Xbox Series X and PS5. I know they can transition that easily, but like I feel like this game was really meant to be like a 3DS exclusive. There's even like moments in Power Evolution where there's 3DS touchscreen moments where they use the 3DS touchscreen just for the 3DS effect, and I feel like it's not gonna really do well in terms of like playing it on like a console or transitioning it like a remake. I don't know. I personally feel like it wouldn't really work well, and that's just my personal opinion, which is why I don't really see a sequel of this game happening or a remake as well. I hate to say it, but that's just me. I know you guys probably enjoyed it, or maybe you guys didn't enjoy it, but like I don't think it was really meant for like a 3DS exclusive, and I don't think it's gonna happen. So I'm sorry about that if you guys were crushed by those dreams. Now the biggest one was Epic Mickey 3, obviously, because Epic Mickey 2 actually left off in a cliffhanger which showed Pete being the main villain, and it's gonna be a big deal because it seemed like it was gonna go away from the Mad Doctor arc and going through like a new arc. They even mentioned that we would have been leaving Wasteland, which would have been so exciting just to leave Wasteland, because I feel like we were in Wasteland way too long. And I think it's because in both Epic Mickey 1 and 2 it was set in Wasteland, so I think that's why I was like ready for something like new where we got to go away Wasteland. But yeah, I think it was supposed to be a quadrilogy. Quadrilogy, is that the word? Where there would have been like 2 more stories after the second game. Like it was planned as like a set, like a quadrilogy. I don't know if I'm saying the right word, but quadrilogy, I think it was. I don't think it was not a trilogy apparently. I think it was a quadrilogy. But yeah, apparently they were like kind of setting up the things where there would be a new mechanic every game. Like for example, the first game was kind of like the original game, and then the second game kind of followed a musical and like the co-op system. So the third game would have followed something like completely new that we would have never seen before, and I'm trying to think of what that could be, because there's so many things you could do with the mechanic. Maybe it could have been like 4-player co-op or something like that, I don't know. But yeah, it would have been like something completely different from like the first and second game, which I find it interesting. I kind of wish we knew what it was, but we don't, unfortunately. But yeah, those were kind of like the future of like Epic Mickey games, of like what could happen in the franchise. I know Purple Lamp Studios are most likely going to be interested in making remakes. So the first game is getting remade. There's a most likely chance that the second game will be remade, and it could be possible they could make a new game in general. I honestly would prefer they made a new game in general, in my opinion. I think they should skip 2, considering 2 is on Steam, but I know Steam, I know the second game on Steam does not work well, so there's that. But yeah, I would love to know your guys' opinion on the Epic Mickey franchise and what you guys think Purple Lamp Studios or any other studios should be making, because I would love to hear your thoughts on it and to see if Epic Mickey deserves a future, because you guys seem to think that, and I would love to hear about it. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. We help our channel a bunch, and thank you so much for the amount of support. And I'll see you guys later in the next video. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.